Thank you so much for tuning in to Tandem Hope YouTube channel, and I'm your host, Alicia Cole. In today's video, we're actually going to chop it up in 3 or 4 parts because there's so much content. We're talking a little bit about the science of sound, but also the application of using GarageBand to record and edit your audio for your podcast. So bear with me. I guarantee you're going to learn something that you didn't know, and I guarantee that I can communicate it in a way to you that will really simplify just the years I spent learning the hard way, teaching myself, learning from others, so that I could get to the place where I'm at right now. And so thank you so much for checking this out. Check out each part of the video. I'll put in details and in the title which part you're listening to. Make sure you listen to all of them start to finish. I'd hate to lose you in the middle of one of those videos. So start to finish. It's going to be great. I'm excited to help you get your podcast started. All right, welcome to this podcast tutorial brought to you by Tandem Hope YouTube channel. Today we're going to learn how to edit quality audio in GarageBand for your podcast. So let's go ahead and take a look at a quick overview of what we're going to cover today. So this is the basic idea, how to edit the audio for quality results. We're going to learn how to navigate the audio editing settings in GarageBand. I'm going to teach you the basics on how to use some of the plugins like noise gate compression, the equalizer, and things like that so you can have quality sound. So with that, here's a little more detailed roadmap for those of you interested. We're going to keep coming back to this document here, this image on the screen. So first, before we get into this, I do want to say, if you did not yet watch my last video on how to record quality audio in GarageBand, check it out. I'll put a link in the details of this video and maybe even a link right here during the video. So first things first, open up your GarageBand project. Maybe grab one that you can use as a test, or maybe use one that you've already recorded. That's up to you. I would say, again, just like in my last video, maybe duplicate the tracks that you have so you can compare and contrast the before and after and see if you can hear a difference. And also, just in case you make all these changes, but then you end up feeling like you made it worse somehow or tinkered with it too much, then you have a backup, right? So there you go. So first, let's switch over to GarageBand. We're going to do step 1 first. So this is an example. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my headphones. Sorry, I'm managing multiple screens here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and unmute this mic. So for the record, I do use an audio interface. I do use GarageBand to record my podcasts and this YouTube channel. I'm using a fancier microphone than what you need, but they're great for podcasts, the Shure SMB7. For the purposes of this podcast, you're mostly hearing the audio through that microphone and that interface going into GarageBand. The track, you want to double check your settings. This is a good tip and a preventative tip for any major issues for clipping to do as you record or before you record. So we're looking at the individual track meter here, and then over here, this is the master track or project meter over here. So sometimes I give that a little boost. That's why you see the 2B there, dB. So once you've double checked those settings, you need to check them because it might, if those levels are off and you're recording already, that's going to determine some potential solutions you may need to take to fix it. Okay, so let's move to step 2, compare and contrast. So again, I kind of already referred to that. Just double up, duplicate things so you can learn, because you want to teach your brain, you want to teach your ear these things as we go along. Let's move to step 3. Step 3 is actually to play back and take notes. So listen to your podcast, take some notes, and think about, oh, I noticed something here. There's some plosives like p, 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 right? Like that, or sibilants. Like I tend to have a lot of sibilants in the recording. So that is going to point us in a direction of some of the editing we'll need to do and some of the plugins we can use. You also might find, because we're talking about editing the whole project, mainly the audio, but the whole project, you do want to see if there's any awkward pauses, anywhere where you need to trim. Sometimes, depending on the chair I'm sitting in, if it squeaks a little bit as I move, in between me switching slides or talking about something else, or awkward moments like that, sometimes I'll chop those out. It depends, like, how polished you want your podcast to be. I think it can be high quality, but it could also be really demanding and time consuming to try to take out every single issue that you hear. So let's go back to the GarageBand view. Okay. And in GarageBand, if you go over here, this is a nifty little notepad feature, so you can take notes, right? And that will save that with the project. Yeah, the other thing too is to take into consideration if you have other people living with you. Depends if you're recording your podcast from home. I know I do. If there's dogs barking or people's footsteps, or there's traffic outside if you live in the city, birds chirping by the window, some of that's fine and nice, but it also might just be distracting. So you determine to what level you want the quality to be, right? I would challenge you to make it the most professional you can. More people are going to be more willing to listen to it for longer periods of time or commit to it longer if the content's good, but also if the quality of sound is good.